Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where civilization starts over. In the last episode, we saw the major wars between the Russians and the Ottomans, the Second Great War. The Ottomans won, and they took a lot of land, and their allies also took a lot of land. But in this episode, we're going to see some interesting stuff happen. But let's go ahead and take a look at what will happen. So this is now the updated alliance layer. Some countries like Yemen, ended up not, staying within the Square Alliance. Same thing with the blue team and then the green team, if not the technically weren't in alliance. The gold team didn't stay, and yeah, so that's just a little bit of the alliance overview update after after the Second Great War. Also, we have China and Korea's alliance over here. Pretty, very nice. Anyway, let's shift our focus over to Iberia. This place has been pretty dormant for the last couple of years, but the red team is once again starting their resurgence of, uh, well, their living as they start invading this Galician country right here. And they don't have much pushback as this country is a very weak country in the world. And, looking at their major cities, um, they've already captured one of them, and they're about to capture two of them as they focus on this city right here, and they also take that one. And from here, they form a kind of it's not in a circle. Well, they're going to encircle, but the Peach team actually manages to push back over here in the southern region and almost get rid of this little encirclement thing. But then it eventually goes through, and all of these troops are killed out, and they just retreat over here. And then these guys will go ahead and fight for a while, but they eventually die. In this peace treaty, full annexation by the red team, and Portugal's looking a little hasty to both of these countries. Now, the blue team actually they aren't going to invade them. Instead, they're going to ask for a set number of provinces. And those provinces look something like this. So we have the Portuguese country accepting, and the red team. They are having interesting thoughts about this. They're thinking of invading this country, but they won't do it right now. They'll just wait. And the red and blue countries don't really have too many hostilities towards each other right now, but they certainly don't like each other. But the blue team pretty much has its core territory back, and even more so, they have more land over here. If we look at the religion map, this is what the borders would look like, but it doesn't because, religion doesn't follow. It doesn't have to follow borders. Coming over here to the Holy Norwegian Empire, we're going to take a look at another war. This time it's the red versus the green, and the red fully takes over the green. Not really much of a competition, but then that's when the blue country is going to go ahead and invade the green one over here, and then the red will take over the rest. Let's go ahead and take a look at this peace treaty. So looking at this peace treaty, the blue team will get all of that, and then the red team will get that portion of that province right there. And the Holy Norwegian Empire is looking a lot more united, and this is good because these guys are actually the Sweden is a big threat to the Holy Norwegian Empire, and so is these guys. So these guys are feeling the sense of unity once again. They won't unionize again right now, but just know unity is soaring in the Norwegian Empire, or Holy Norwegian Empire. Coming over here to our trail, we see that Sudan was afraid that the Ethiopians would come after them next. But they're just gonna go ahead and invade Eritrea due to the fact that this country is already pretty much dead, and this is going to raise tensions with Ethiopia because hey, you remember these guys were giving you soldiers or workers to go through your country. They did finally get to the gold one. The Ethiopian country though is still mad about this. But there's nothing they can really do about that now. As in the peace treaty, the former red country will be fully annexed, and that capital city, what that is now? It's just a major city of the purple team. So, Africa looking a little bit more cleaned up. Coming over here to Indonesia, we see that the purple country that's the wrong layer. That's the wrong color. The purple nation has been working on more of these Indonesian isles, but they will stop there as their country is getting a little too big for their britches, and they're the biggest Southeast Asian country. So it's just too much at once. But now I think it is time to look at some updated power rankings. So, number one is back to being the Ottoman Empire. They are number one. They are stronger than ever right now. They have a lot of this valuable land where Cyprus used to own, and land that actually Bulgaria used to own. Bulgaria is actually fine with the Ottomans holding that, as most people there were ethnically Ottoman. Number two is going to go ahead and be the Gold Team. They are a powerful country. They were number one. However, the Ottomans are just stronger than them at this very point. Three is going to go ahead and be France. Um, they're powerful. Well, four is going to be the Russian Empire. I don't know why I put it R, but yeah, four is the Russian Empire. They used to be, I'm pretty sure, number two. But yeah, the Russians are back to being four. But five is going to go ahead and be Sweden. So, yeah, Sweden, pretty cool country. The Swedish Union. Yeah, their alliance is actually gaining popularity, and they have had elected a new leader actually recently. Well, not elected, but their new king is very expansionist, and yeah. Number six is actually gonna go ahead and be Korea, while number seven is China. Both of these guys have moved up a ranking in well, the past time we've seen the rankings. Eight is gonna go ahead and be the blue team right here. So yeah, they are also gaining a lot of strength recently. Number nine is gonna go ahead and go to the South Chinese country. While number 10 is once again going to be the North Indian Federation. So that is our rankings. And yes, so it's very interesting. It changed a lot, obviously, with the new war that happened. It's going to change. Yeah, but anyways, that is gonna do it for our overall powerful, whatever you want to call it, power rankings. Now let's go ahead and move on to something else more interesting. Speaking of the North Indian Federation, though, the Lime Team, the military dictatorship country, is going to start their invasion of the North Indian Federation, and they focus on their coastal area over here at first, and they start focusing on some of the inland areas. But the North Indian Federation actually put up a way better defense than the Lime Team ever would have thought, and they are barely able to get as many cities as they want. They projected to get six major cities at least the first 2 months of the war. It has been the first 2 months of the war, and they've only got three. So they're really mad about this. So they're going to try their hardest to get another major city, and it actually works. They do get it, and they get the areas around it. However, when they try to get another major city, a major thing happens for the North Indian Federation and the Lime Team, which is the North Indian Federation pushing back and encircling all of these troops that are in this area right here, and they eventually start to die, and eventually they fully die out. And that was a large group of this guy's the Lime Team soldiers. So the North Indian Federation will go ahead and start up their armies, and they well not start up their armies, they start up their invasion of the Lime Team, and they start taking major cities too until they decide to push back in the northern region right here. Why aren't they pushing back in the east? Well, you'll see. You'll see about what they're gonna do. So they focus on this major city, and then they get to this one, and well, yeah, there you go. So these troops have now been just captured, and that's a pretty dang big amount of troops. And these guys are really gonna try to. They're gonna try to hold out. It's just not enough as more major cities are captured, and they're just reduced to this peninsula area. However, it looks like they're gonna get encircled there as well. The North Indian Federation also ends. They enter in from the north, and then this northern Indian area is just taken. And well, that was a major blow to the Lime Team, who was supposed to be a great military dictatorship. It is not doing as well because, first of all, it's a dictatorship, and well, it's supposed to be a military one. But clearly, the military isn't doing as well as they would think and they would want it to be. Back over here, this whole encirclement is eventually fully captured again by the North Indian Federation. And after the capital was captured by the North Indian Federation, the Lime Team is just going to go ahead and surrender. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, the North Indian Federation will get all of this northern land from the Lime Team, while the Lime Team does still exist, and they will get back to these parts. So the North Indian Federation is becoming a very powerful country, and the top 10 might be top 9 soon, as there's a lot of major cities in this country, a lot of population, and a lot of people who want to fight for the North Indian Federation, so it could definitely become a top power in the world soon. I could also call it the North Indian Union, but I feel like the North Indian Federation kind of sounds better. But, yeah. Coming over here to Tanzania, a country that has barely ever done anything except form, they will form a claim of land that looks something like that. So, and this is mostly in Mozambique, but they form that claim, and that is a pretty large claim. It's really good for them, because more fishing, stuff like that. This country is very, very poor, and most of these African countries are poor. Mostly just this area over here. This area is definitely a lot more rich, especially in these four countries. Well, three if you don't count the blue team. But Egypt was also pretty rich, but after the war, they kind of got decimated. Libya has never been a really rich region, nor has this area. And then Sudan wasn't. Ethiopia kind of, but these countries not really. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna do it for Africa. And the Square Alliance is going to go ahead and carry out a military operation into the country known as Greece. They've done this once before, and they're gonna do it again. Bulgarian troops enter from the northern part of Bulgaria, or the southern part of Bulgaria, and they start steaming through. And these guys only think Bulgaria is in on the war. Little do they know that the red team, they're also in the war. The Albanians are in the war, and they are taking land too. And of course, everybody's favorite, apparently, the Sicily people, they're in the war still, and they will just take all of this land right here, and eventually they will take all of Greece. The Ottomans are just going to go ahead and take the rest of the islands. So there we go. And let's take a look at this peace treaty. So, taking a look at this peace treaty, Bulgaria will go ahead and get all of this land right here, which is really good for them. They have gotten a lot of their former territory back. In fact, I'm pretty sure all of it, plus more with the Lime team. Well, except, this part of land that they had in Anatolia. But it just looks better under the Ottomans. The Albanians will get all of this land. I didn't want them to get all of that. Hold on. They will get all of this land, and then they will get some of the occupied lands from their allies. And then Sicily will get the rest, and, well, yeah, that's pretty much it for Greece. And, honestly, they're probably gonna make a return in the future. Let's be honest. The Greeks have made a lot of appearances and disappearances in the world, but they are no longer a thing, at least for now. Anyways, many, many, many countries, many men are gonna go ahead and discover the ocean, a lot of the ocean that is, and they start to discover more areas that link up to Greenland. And yeah, like I said, they are just discovering the heck out of these areas. They are not stopping. They even reach these islands right here. I don't remember what they're called. I'm pretty sure they're Spanish, though. No, they're Portuguese. But the red team will go ahead and colonize them. Pretty cool find that right there. Well, I know I said that's gonna be it for Africa, but a new nation will form up in this area right here. That's gonna be a dark red kind of country. They exist now and they are happy. But yeah, that is gonna actually do it for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. This is episode 21. The series is going by pretty fast. The direction of the series has once again been changed in favor of the Ottomans, and actually Asia is getting a lot more action, with the whole Civil War thing, or not the Civil War, the war that happened in India, the heightening up of alliances, and the slow unification of Southeast Asia. The world is becoming a lot more united, as well as, with the Holy Roman Empire. But anyways, that is going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.